Is alfalfa the problem or is it the solution? John Fleck writes in his book, Water is for Fighting Over and Other Myths About Water in the West, rather than seeing the low value of alfalfa as a problem, it's better to view alfalfa as part of the solution. Alfalfa makes our water system more resilient in three important ways. So Fleck is a longtime science journalist and he teaches at the University of New Mexico. So his argument here is that the way we use water is shifting in two regards. One is because of climate change and a lower overall water supply. And the way we use water is adapting to different uses, municipal and industrial uses, in a region that was historically dominated by agriculture. So here are the three ways that he thinks about alfalfa. So one is alfalfa is drought tolerant. It has deep roots. It's a perennial. So in a period of drought, you're not going to lose your whole crop. It's easier to move than water itself. So alfalfa can be considered a form of virtual water, and we can import alfalfa from outside of the region, for instance, so that dairy production does not come to a halt. And he also sees the low value of alfalfa as a positive in this light, because it is often the first crop to be fallowed, shifting water elsewhere to more valuable uses. It can serve as a simple buffer in these kinds of times of transition. So I agree with Fleck here. I think he raises a really important point. I think we need to reconsider how we think about alfalfa and agriculture more broadly. I would recommend his book, especially if your understanding about water in the region comes from Cadillac Desert by Mark Reisner. And if you're going to read that book, I would make it a point to read Fleck's book as kind of a counterpoint to get a broader perspective on the region. And speaking of Mark Reisner, so in an interview in 2000, he actually defends alfalfa. This may be surprising if you know what I'm talking about. He says there are arguments to be made for these low value crops. They're a pretty good substitute for wetlands. So do you really want to get rid of every last acre of alfalfa? Just something to think about.